What's good, everybody? So we're back again with more Wuthering Waves content. I have just done the Pincer maneuver game mode. It took me a hot minute, but then we managed it. It was fine. I got all the asteroids from like all the sections. I didn't max out the endless one because I kind of messed up the second half for one bit, but it was fine. But I got all the asteroids, and now I want to watch this video. Wuthering Waves' worst combat event worries me. Pincer maneuver. So what does Vincent have to say about Pincer? Now, I've had a lot of people in my chat saying they don't like the game mode. It's not fun for them. So clearly there's a sentiment that around that this isn't fun for people either. So what does this dude have to say? Let's go.
Subscribe! Yo, who wants to have sex?
No.
Pincer Maneuver Warrior 1. More like pissy manure. Jesus Christ, I hate this mode. This mode is trash.
Oh no.
Out of all the modes we've gotten, this is by far the worst combat event in my opinion. For all the cool ones—
Oh no, okay, it's been 14 seconds. It's been 14 seconds and Bro is not happy. Bro is not happy at all. Pissy maneuver. Wait, pissy manure? I have to see that again. I have to see that again.
Pincer Maneuver Warrior 1. More like pissy manure. Jesus Christ, I hate this mode.
Whether you agree with him or not, that's fucking funny. Okay.
This mode is trash. Out of all the modes we've gotten, this is by far the worst combat event in my opinion.
Okay, why is
For
that?
all the cool ones we have gotten, I don't know how we get this. First off, the UI. Girl, I thought you learned from our feedback on this. Let us change and adjust shit in—
Yes! 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 Why in Tower of Adversity you were like, oh, we recognize that we want you to like maybe change things in the game mode. Here's a details button. Why did they suddenly decide to ignore it here with a new game mode? Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. It makes literally zero sense. Oh, we implemented this feature in Tower of Adversity because people really wanted it. Wanted to swap, you know, sets between characters maybe. Let's just not include it for the new game mode. Let's just not have it. Let's just not do it. It's like, why? It's like, it's such like an obvious, easy thing. You can't even view your characters. Like, you can't even view, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. It's like, it's just such an easy thing to implement. It really is just a very easy thing to implement, and that's it. That's it. And like, it's not, we're not asking for much, Kuro. I ain't asking for much. Just give me a details tab. That's it, please.
The menus. It's so annoying having to literally move out into my character menus because you won't let us adjust it while we're setting up teams.
True.
Come on, brothers. Like, even the jank Tower of Adversity one would work well because at least I don't need to leave the event screen.
True. True. It's just, it's a very quick fix. Just literally add the same button with the same function. That's it. That's it.
As a whole. And go through a loading screen, by the way. Like, what the fuck is that?
Also, I would like the UI to kind of be similar, to be honest. I want to see all my characters on the left, not have to like click and then like search my go through my characters and then add them in. I want to see the lineup of my characters on the left, the other screen on the right, like timer and whatever at the top with score. Like, I would prefer that.
Actually, hold on. I feel like I should go. Hold on. Let me go back. And fuck! Oh my god, with the loading screens.
Oh no!
Why is this a thing?
That's a bit of a rip.
Secondly, what the fuck is this? You're raising my character levels. Cool. What about my gear? Hello? What purpose is there to—
So, it is kind of— I get it. Like, okay. I know what he's gonna say.
bring in my level 80 Yang Yang when I don't have shit built on her at all? We already have—
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute, right? Let's talk about that. So they raise your level, but they don't raise your talents. They don't raise your gear and echoes. Okay, I get that. If you have like a level 1 character, you could at least slot them in a team. The build, from what I've found, I used Wanwu. I haven't leveled him at all. I used the 80 version. And what I did is I auto echoes. I auto slotted echoes and I just made sure he had a crit rate. That's all I did, because it's not the build that mattered so much. If you just try to clear for the asteroids, it's not so much the build that matters. It's like the utilizing the actual like buff that the game is giving you. That matters more. So like, does it kind of suck a little bit? Yeah. But at least it's not like unplayable. You just throw a set on them and then it'll be just fine. Like I just made sure he had crit rate. And that was it. That was literally the only purpose that he had. So I don't, maybe I'm being a bit too safe with my words there, but I don't think it was that bad.
Have trial characters, how do you downgrade from fucking trial characters? Compared to the Elusive Realm, for example, there they match weapons and levels to 80 minimum, and the meta...
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's a fair shout. That's a fair shout. I feel them leveling up is nice enough. I don't think they even needed to do it. No, I feel like they do. No, I feel like you absolutely do, because if you do not have the leveled up characters to do it, you would be screwed. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't, right? I wouldn't be able to do Pincer if this wasn't like a feature, because like I needed that one move for my Shangli Yao, right? So yeah, because it's a test of playable characters, why don't we just give pre-build chars for everything then? Sigh.
Metaphor and skill enhancements offset the power loss as echoes and skills are...
I feel this is different because Elusive Realm is like a... It's the challenge is it's a roguelite, right? I don't think you're testing out like... Elusive Realm is different because you're not... You gain powers by getting more of the buffs through every like round, right? That's how you increase your power. So it doesn't really matter that much if they give you a level 80 character with a max weapon or whatever. It doesn't matter as much because you're going to be exponentially increasing in power anyway, playing the roguelite. So I think a comparison to Elusive Realm isn't exactly fair. I don't think that's exactly fair because purely for that reason. Because the whole point is you're going to gain 100, 200, 300% more power anyway. So having a max weapon doesn't really, offer much.
Are ineffective.
Oh wait, I can't read.
In this shit mode, all we get is a level increase to 80, no skill, weapon, or echo supplements, and no wider buff to offset the 3 major sources of power. This is some bullshit. Like, it absolutely screws new and even mid players. Hell, I'm UL 76, and I'm struggling with this mode. The new players are probably absolutely pissed.
I can agree that new players will hate it. I could totally see why new players will like barely be able to scratch the surface of like I do get it, right? I do get it. But again, like it's you know what I mean? Bricked account issue. I don't think it's a bricked like account issue, right? Like in Pincer, I only use 3 5-stars. I use Verena, I use Shangli Yao, and I use my Gion. Those are the only ones I was using. It's a reoccurring mode. Yeah. It's like if you're a new player, you can't be expected to clear everything immediately anyway. That's just not how it works. If it's an endgame mode, you're not expected to be able to like do it all, right? I feel like if you could 30-30 tower with your account, you should be able to do Pincer no problem. I miss events only go up to level 40, right? Is that true? I don't know. Is that true? Probably. I have no idea. I have no idea if this is correct or not. New player issue is not a reason to not make difficult content. No, I million% agree. I million% agree. This is what I'm saying. Like if you can, my take is if you could 30-30 tower, you could do Pincer no problem. That's it. That's it. It's not even an event, it's a game mode. Like it's literally an end game mode. It's similar to Warzone in PGR. Like it's not even an event.
Third up, this buff and the other ones in this event. The base idea is kinda cool, but it's very one-dimensional in the approach, and it highlights a fear I am now having to consider.
What's that?
The thing that makes me not like it as a mechanic is that it's either the buff as this burst of damage in 2 different ways.
Yep.
Or a 30% damage bonus, which does nothing if again you have no built characters, you're solely relying on the wave damage.
That's fair. I feel like that's kind of fair. Let me listen again.
Damage in 2 different ways.
Damage dealt by impact decreased by 50%. Impact now deals havoc. Damage to the physical. Yeah, this was the last Pincer, wasn't it? Like, the first 2 really cater into the DPS that's kind of on the banner. Like, right now it's Electro, and we know Yinlin's on the banner. Last time it was like Havoc, and then Camellia was on the banner, right? So these top 2 really cater to the character that's come out for the time. And this one is just an increase in damage dealt. So he does have kind of a point when you're relying more on wave damage to deal enough damage to clear it. So this doesn't become as relevant as these 2. I get it. I understand. I understand where he's coming from. I actually get a higher rank in Pincer than Tower. Oh, interesting. Interesting. They have wars, so I don't know why they need feedback when they have a blueprint. It's different game styles though, right? The actual gameplay is different, so that's really it. I mean, cool if they add like a PvP aspect to it. That'd be kind of fun.
Or a 30% damage bonus, which does nothing if, again, you have no built characters, you're solely relying on the wave damage. So realistically,
but really, it's going to be your DPSs doing the damage anyway, so as long as you have built DPSs, which you should do if you're doing this, your DPSs should be the first thing that you built. They'll still be doing nice damage.
You're only choosing from 2 options. From my experience, you choose the...
You know, because the first 2 options will, you know, help in your overall PvP would cause meltdowns but imagination. Why? Why? It works in other gacha games. They have a PvP and PGR and it's fine. It's a game where there's quite literally another way to test your account. Sure, but we all agree that it favors whoever's on the banner. We could all agree with that. We could all agree it favors whoever's on the banner.
From my experience, you choose the Havoc version if you have Havoc DPS characters for both teams, or you just choose the 50% increase because you can't activate.
And I want to say that's obviously the same for other gacha games, right? Honkai Star Rail, Memory of Chaos. We all know that whatever the banner character is, you'll have an easier time playing through that MOC. We all know that's the case. It happens in every gacha game. I'm not saying Woo is different. It happens to all of them.
The main reason you choose the Havoc...
But you still did it without even without Yin Lin. Yeah, I did it with Shang Li Yao, who is also on the banner. Shang Li Yao is literally on the banner right now. And I did it with Shang Li Yao. So, what point are we making here?
Version, which is the 2 extra stacks. But even then, the damage is so motherfucking inconsistent, I don't know if it's range-based, level-based, attack-based, enemy-based, time-based, or wave-based. Like, sometimes I'm doing 11k damage, and then other times I'm hitting like 69k. I initially thought it was attack-based off of your first slotted character, as when I had Rover, I was hitting for 38k, while my Jaja hit for around 17k. But aside from the inconsistencies here...
He's free though? Yeah, but not for new players, right? He's only free if you played through 1.2 and got him then. That's the only way he's free. Right? Like, he's not free now. So, people have to pull for him if they didn't. As the game matures, more electro units become available or any attribute for that matter. Sure, like, obviously, as the game matures, and you'll be able to pick up more characters, but, like, you know, let's be fair.
The other buffs are also ass too, like the 30 seconds of upped interruption.
This is really for the last Pincer, right? No, it doesn't really match as much for the current one. I agree, but as my second point, what in the skill issue are we talking about? Kuro has been usually really good for listening to player feedback, so maybe we'll see an update that makes this more accessible for lower level accounts. I don't think it's the thing that it has to be accessible for lower level. Like, obviously, like, I feel like it's an end game mode. It's meant to test your account. I do understand that. I do agree with that sentiment. I'm not saying that, like, it should be made easier. I'm not suggesting it should be made easier. For me, my main problem is I don't think for the levels like 1 through 4, I don't think they actually give enough astrites. I think we should see more astrites for those levels so that people with, like, maybe not as good accounts could, like, still get some rewards. And the people who end up getting to the endless mode or, like, the calamity, the 4th one, You could maybe lock more rewards there. I don't know, but still make it some kind of way accessible for like mid accounts. Have more asteroids in the lower ranking ones. I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. As long as like it's like both. As long as the people who like complete it and are really good, have really good accounts, still get rewarded pretty well. There's no problem. There's literally zero issue. Right? Literally zero issue with that.
I would have appreciated maybe like a speed up in skill cooldown, as resonant skill grants the momentum marks. I hate it for how limited it is in scope, how inconsistent it seems to be, and most of all, how disgustingly predatory it is.
Oh, I'm trying to relate this to the current Pincer, right? Where for one half the coordinated attacks, you get the thundering mark, which you get 30. You get like a buff or something like that. You get more energy regen. If you get 60, you're able to do that, like the wave damage, right? The actual thundering down wave damage, which relies you to it basically means you need a lot of your like off-field DPSs, right? Which is why I ended up using Shang Liao and Wan Wu on the same team. My Wan Wu made me able to get those thundering marks quicker. So like it does limit considerably what teams you can use to really utilize all the buffs that mode could give you, right? Whatever buff could give. So I kind of agree in that sense, right? If you're not using the right characters, the specific characters to utilize the buffs that the game was giving you, it's not going to be a good time, right? It's not going to be a great time. So it is a do you have the right character check? In that essence, right? Can we agree it is a little bit like, do you have the right character? It's not so much though, are they built, but do you have the right one in order to trigger the bigger buff or attributes in the actual game mode itself? You know what I mean? But like I said, I did mine with Shang Liao and Wan Wu and Verena. So that's like 2 5-stars in one team. You know what I mean? Not everyone will have Shang Liao. You don't need to build Wan Wu, like I said. But it did require me to have the better character that's on right now, and another 5-star being Verena. So that's something to keep in mind, right? It's an account check. We already have that TOA, don't need to. Yeah, exactly. It is an account check.
That is the main thing that
It kind of reminds me more like Pure Fiction. If you're trying to compare it to the Gadget as well, obviously you've got PTR. Kind of like Pure Fiction, where it's like you have waves and waves and waves you have to do within a time limit, or like within a certain amount of turns. Kind of feels a little bit like that.
Clothing right here. Kuro, don't fuck up now. Don't do this shit. This event is 100% catered to Camellia, and it's slimy as all hell. Now, don't get me wrong.
Not the current one. The current one is not catered to Camellia at all. It's catered to Yinlin and Shang Liao. Last one, it was catered to Camellia 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
You can do work with Havoc Rover and Don Jin, and maybe Tao Chi too, but you should not be catering events that are limited this heavily, and most of all, punishing teams that are not Havoc. My kitted out teams barely broke the threshold in the first 3 versions, and at the 4th iteration, I can't even break the 2600. Hell, I'm not even close to getting all this shit in the Infinite one. Now, maybe part of it is
I feel like with the last Pincer, if you didn't have Camellia, it might have been a bit of a struggle. Yeah, like I can understand it might have been a bit of a struggle if you didn't have Camellia. I can understand the frustration. I can. Because like, what other Havoc characters can you use? Havoc Rover to do all that? Nah. I can understand. I'm sure there's people who have done it, but it's going to be a lot harder. Which is why I think the complaint that it sounds like more of an account check is coming into play.
Skill issue here, sure. But I'm able to handedly clear Tower of Adversity even without fully using the elemental buff.
At this point, we're arguing against the whole gacha system of collecting characters, which is another can of worms entirely. Okay, so should we break this down and talk about it? Obviously, if you're someone who maybe wails on gachas or wails on games and you get every single character, you're going to have a far easier time than anybody else. That's just, obviously, that's just like a no-brainer, right? It's just a no-brainer. Ads? Okay, wob. I'm not waiting 3 minutes. I'm not waiting 3 minutes. All right. But I think we could still agree. We could still agree that there still needs to be a level of accessibility, right? Not only is it a how many characters do you have, it's like, even for a gacha, it still feels kind of unfair. You could pull for a lot of characters, but if you don't have these specific ones for the banner at that moment, it could be like, oh, well, shit. Like, you could have all the other characters, but if you don't have the ones on the banner, then you're kind of screwed. It does feel a little bit icky when gachas do that sort of thing. Now, in Wu's case, I only needed Shangli Yao from the banner in order to carry through with it, right? I only needed Shangli Yao, right? It's not like I needed Shangli Yao and Yinlin and all these other. It's not like I needed that. It's not like I needed that, right? I just needed one of them. But it's like, if I didn't have Shangli Yao, would I have had a much more awful time? If I've had to use my Camellia, or if I had to use my Changli, probably would have been really ass. It probably would have been really ass, because not only because it's recommended to have an Electro character, right? So I understand we're going against the system of, like, you know, having to select all the characters, but when it's like specifically the one on the banner right now for that precise game mode, it feels kind of ass. It does limit it a lot, and people don't like being limited. People don't. Do you have Calcaro? I do, but he's not. I haven't really built him. I'm sure people could use Calcaro and they'd be fine with it too, but I don't think he's as great as applying wide AoE damage like Shangli Yao is. He's much, much harder to use in that game mode right now.
Buffs, as that's where the DPS check is, whereas the skill checks are more so on the holograms. I should be having zero issues getting all the rewards here. I hate this predatory style, and I wouldn't be as upset if I could clear things with what I have now like I can with Tower of Adversity. But I can't, and at this point I've kind of just said fuck it. However, I do have some tips for you in case you need better.
Is that bad? Bro, I have my Shangli in Team 1. Okay, that's fine. I could put a Sadowar Team 2 and go all the rewards. That's fine. Cool. Good for you. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. For me, my issue was Team 1, not Team 2. I feel Team 1 is always the limiting one because you need... It favors like the attribute that's like on the banner. That's really all it is. Like you could use Calcaro, but he doesn't do very good like group damage or AoE damage, right? But Shangli Yao or Yinlin, they both do pretty good electro DPS damage, right? So it's really the first team that feels more limiting to me. The second team is way more free.
Scores, and this bullshit continues as we are getting a second one with this next half. Sorry, I know this is coming at the end of this event, but they do rerun events, so, you know, you may still want to keep some of these things in mind. Tip number 1. Donjin and Havoc Rover are your DPS free-to-play power.
I don't think this really applies now because this is kind of irrelevant. This is literally kind of irrelevant to, like, us.
Well, I guess if you can get Donjin, so, I don't know, it's kind of consistent buff on Team 1.
Okay, I think this is kind of not really relevant anymore. This video is old, so you can skip this part. Well, it's not old. It was uploaded a day ago. I think bro should have released this way earlier. I'll be real.
Even with my built up. Tip 2. You need to worry about stragglers. So CC options like Jian and Yang Yang will help at your...
Jian is a guarded pincer. Jian is a literal guarded pincer. His grouping is so good. I don't know why people always shit on Jian for him not being like a really good, useful, strong character. He's literally one of the most useful and versatile characters in the whole game. I don't know why he gets shit on. I really don't. I'm so glad I have an S5 Jian. Soon to be S6. You know what I mean? Soon to be S6.
Discretion.
He works so well in Pincer. He's great. Like people like, oh, it's Gion. It's like he's too easy. He doesn't do as much damage as others. I say bullshit. I call bullshit. He's literally one of Elusive Realm. He's a fucking beast. TOA. He can clear everything fine. Whatever you put him in, he's fine. Pincer, he's amazing at. He's one of the most versatile best characters in the whole game, and I will not people stand him just because he doesn't do enough burst damage like Camellia or like Jinshi. It doesn't matter. He's great. He's amazing. I'm not saying that because he has huge tits. I'm not saying that because he has huge tits, but there we go.
Experiences grouping the small enemies help a lot, but I always come out with way lower scores even with my built-up Gion. But keep spawns in mind as literally
what did he say? What did that say?
My built-up Gion.
It's because he does heavy damage, idiot.
But keep spawns in mind as literally one enemy can severely slow you. Tip 3. The Havoc Momentum version does work with echoes, so Havoc echoes can build stacks which can be thrown into your
Important info for this tip. This event is scum between my toes. Alright, let's just skip a bit.
this. Overall, this event was a pain in the ass, not because it's difficult out of skill, but because of the reliance on something catered to a specific unit. Like, you can't even tell based off of how they spawn, too. If Camellia is in the middle of the spawn, she hits all of them, and the CC issue I mentioned is almost null. This entire event now makes me worry about—
That's fair. That's a fair point. Like, depending where enemies spawn. Like, that's why I say, like, how Koro isn't really a good fit, because the AoE is kind of ass.
the future events being this kind of bullshit, and that makes me really angry. Kuro, don't do this.
I don't think it's as bad as Blood is making out to be. Conclusion. As all account test endgame modes, it is meant to incentivize you to spend money, whether you like it or not. Well, it's a gacha game. It is a gacha game. You're agreeing, so you're agreeing that it's inherently predatory. So you're agreeing that the game mode is inherently predatory. The only merit of whether a game mode is asked or not at a particular time is whether it can be completed with guaranteed units. Which Woo doesn't have much. Come to think of it, we don't have much permanent milestones, if any. We just get a few full slots for free. I agree. But I think because the game mode is released at a time when we don't have a lot of characters, right, in the roster, it can feel shitty. It can feel shitty if you don't have the banner ones. I agree. But that I think it's perfectly valid to feel like I don't like it. It feels icky. People are perfectly valid to feel that way about it. Even though it could be a you don't have the right characters issue, people are still in the right to be like, oh, it's kind of icky that I can't do that. Completing floor of a basic gets you to get Xiangling. It's like a Tower of Adversity. You get one Woo for free, right? If you complete it to a certain level, right? But I don't think, like, in Pincer, there is one character that will save you. There is not one character that will save you. So, like, oh, if you do Pincer to this point, you will get this character, which will help you. Like, no, that's not going to be the case, right? We do get Sanhua, Wanwu, Baiji, Yang, and Shisha for free, I think. Yeah, and they're pretty good characters. Wanwu was great in the current Pincer. He's fine. I don't even have him leveled, like I said. I don't even have, like, things for him. He's not even built. Like, and he worked fine with my Shang Liao. But again, the problem is, I think, is the main damage dealer more than anything else. I just have 2.0 to introduce us new game modes. We'll see. So right now we have two. We've got a couple. We've got holograms, we've got Tower Adversity, and we've got Pincer Maneuver. Chat, type 1 if you like Pincer, type 2 if you don't. Type 1 if you like Pincer, type 2 if you don't. Be honest. Be honest. Type 1 if you like it, 2 if you don't. I want to see the consensus of my chat. I want to see 1.5, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Oh. 4, 3, 3, 1, 1, 2. 1, I liked it because I'm a dolphin. I like that you're being honest. I like that you're being honest and that, like, you like it because you have the characters. I like that you're saying that. It's a fun game mode. I just don't like the lack of build switching. Yeah, 3 for the rewards. Okay, someone who said 2. Joker of Black. Why do you not like Pincer? I want to hear someone's viewpoint why they don't like it. How do you feel about it? 1 because free stuff. I'm also a dolphin. I didn't struggle at all clearing the event. It's just boring. You just find it boring? I could totally understand, though. I could totally understand. Like, if I could clear it, it took me a hot minute. If I could clear it, I could understand if you're like a dolphin or even a whale. This thing is so easy. Pincer is so easy if you're even a dolphin or a whale. Like, you don't even like, it's like, I can understand how that it would make it boring. It's like that kind of maybe adds to the point then. Like, if you're a dolphin or even a whale, Pincer is just like ridiculously easy. So I can understand where it's boring. And if you're free to play, it's kind of really shit still because you don't have the characters you need to do it in the first place. So really the only people who are truly really enjoying it a lot are the people in the middle. Like maybe kind of like me where it's like hard enough where I have to kind of think about it and maybe adjust. And then I have to spend more time to get good, let's say. I get more satisfaction from it. So it's like both ends of the spectrum are shit in terms of like how many characters you have. Like, that's really it. Can we all agree with that? Can we all agree with that? Like, if you're someone who sits in the middle of that spectrum, you'll like it the most. They should make more game modes instead of ripping shit from other games. Well, it's really just like, it really is just like Wuwa's version of Warzone. What I find most fun is holograms and bosses. I would kill for more events like that. I do think they need more holograms because I think a lot of people by now, the people who like hologram content will probably have like done them all by now. So they want something new. I really feel like having like a rotating like weekly hologram would be so fun. A rotating weekly hologram that has a couple like new mechanics like built in would be kind of interesting. With the amount of 4-star reruns on banners, I'm pretty sure some have already C5, C6, some of them even free to play. It should have made their accounts decent. It's just tapping into the best potential of what they have. I don't disagree. I agree with the take. It's too easy for dolphins and whales and they should make it harder for everyone. I don't think it should be... Again, I think it should be balanced out with the rewards that they give. Give enough rewards so people who are more free to play can still access asteroids. But also hard enough that like whales could find it a bit more of like a challenge and achievement to complete. And they get rewarded for doing that. Like I feel like it should work for both ends. Rotating a hologram sounds amazing. Exactly. Just something new every week. New hologram every week with a leaderboard. PvP. There we go. Easy. Done. But don't include the rider, then we could... This was an interesting video. It definitely sparked some really good discussion between us and chat. And if you want to be part... Oh my god, my voice. If you want to be part of the conversation, come over to my Twitch. I'm live every single day, 2 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. GMT, all right? Make sure to like this video. Comment down below what you think. And most importantly, subscribe. You better do it right now. I appreciate y'all. I will see you on the next one tomorrow. Peace.